When you have a gut check moment like we had last Saturday, and really for the entire week, their ability to respond the way that they did this week, not only during the game, but their ability to quiet the noise, because there was a lot of noise outside of our building, and their ability to stay connected to one another and put in the effort, to put forth the work, to put in the preparation, and then to come out and play our brand, our style of football. And I thought we played a very physical game. I thought we played complementary football. All three phases were tied together. We had a game plan, and the guys executed it. And I thought we got better as the game went on in executing that plan. And ultimately, the result was the result. And so, again, I'm just proud of these guys, and I'm proud of those guys down that locker room for trusting the plan and executing the plan and playing, our brand of football today.
Thank you, Coach. We'll start here in the front row.
Bob Ballou, CBS Austin. For Quintravian, how much of this week was just, after last week, what happened, just the response? How much were you guys excited to show your response in a game like this?
We really just knew what it took coming to games, coming into SEC play. We just knew what it was going to take, being enamored with us. We knew, coming into practice, we just got to have that hard hat on, come out and do our jobs.
Yeah, just had to stay together, and it was going to be a tough game, come out here and compete, and really just stay together.
Right here next to him.
Questions for you. During the week, you talked about this team needing to shut out the outside noise. You talked about the need to play emotional, but play with emotion, but not emotional. What did you learn about your team today?
Well, I think that we learned how to fight today, and I think that we don't have to wait till the 12th round to try to knock somebody out to win a game. We can win rounds, and we can continue to fight for 4 quarters. And like I said, I think we saw the true character of the men in that locker room today, their connectivity, their love for one another. You heard these two guys just say it, staying connected, continuing to grind with one another, because it's easy to succumb to the outside noise. And there was a lot of shit getting talked about our team and about these guys, and I think they responded.
Here in the second row, and then over 2 spots.
Hey, Steve, Cedric Golden, Austin American Statesman. You coached the most talked about quarterback in America, and you saw what he did against Florida, without good blocking or without a good run game, and you complimented that. What does it say about what he did during the week to prepare for this and then come out with a win?
Well, I said this to the team, Friday before we left to come to Dallas. Arch took a lot of hits last week, and the biggest thing that impressed me this week about his game, he didn't miss 1 rep of practice this week. He came back Monday, and he was not 100%. He was beat up, but he took every rep. And I think coming out of a game like that, you earn the respect of your teammates. That's the toughness you got to have, and that's the preparation that you have to have. And, we're going to find ways to win, whatever it takes to win. And today, we needed him to convert 3rd downs, and we got him more manageable 3rd downs. But then there were some tough ones he had to convert. But that's a team effort. We don't, I think so much is made about Arch. It's like when we don't win, it's his fault, okay? But when we do win, everybody praise Arch. We're the team, and Arch will be the first one to tell you that. He's an awesome teammate. He works hard. He wants everybody else to do well around him, because that's what the teams do. That you win as a team, you lose as a team, and I think that's we're becoming more and more of a team that way, with the right type of grit that you have to have in the SEC.
Go here in the same row.
David Eckert, Austin American Statesman. Steve, game plan and schematically, what did you do offensively to kind of cope with their pass rush and their front 7?
Well, I think a couple things were, one, we slowed the tempo down by huddling, and then we sped the tempo up by going no huddle. We tried to change gears and shift gears. We didn't try to be a sitting target. I think we understood what they were trying to do, and there was a lot of split safety, a lot of deep safety looks, and we lined up and ran the football. And credit to our offensive line, who they had a long week, and they heard about it from all of you too. So they played pretty good today against arguably the best defensive front in our conference.
We'll go back here on the aisle, then over here to Kirk, and then in the front row.
Coach Terry Middleton, Horns Illustrated. What was the impact of Malik Muhammad's interception with 2 seconds left on Oklahoma as they went into because they didn't recover from that into the second.
I thought that was a massive play in the game, because they had an opportunity to get points there at the end of the first half. And so for Manny to get that pick in the end zone, I really felt like that was a momentum-changing play as we went into the second half. And we knew we were getting the ball coming out of halftime. And I think in the second half, in the third quarter, we might have had the ball the entire quarter. I think they might have ran 3 or 4 plays. And so we possessed the ball. We extended drives by getting third downs. We scored a touchdown. And so all in all, I think that kind of started that. When we got into the locker room, it was, okay, well, now let's go. It's 30 minutes. Let's go play. And where's our pride? And how are we going to play this second half? And let's get out of our own way. Because after those first 2 drives, I don't see the drive chart here, but I think the first 2 drives we stubbed our toe with penalties, and then we basically were putting ourselves in position to score points every other drive on offense. But we tried to limit possessions intentionally in this game. We slowed things down, we sped things up, we huddled more, and that's a credit to the guys on offense of handling a game plan that was not easy, but they did a really nice job of it.
Over here to Kirk, and then back here to the front row.
Yeah, Kirk Bowles from the Houston Chronicle. Steve, those 2 drives in the third quarter, was it mostly about being more physical? And do you feel like this validates on how good this team can be?
Well, I think it was. We challenged our team about being physical, and it wasn't just the offense. It was on defense. It was on special teams. And clearly the offensive line, the runners, we knew we had to run the ball against this group. If we would have dropped back and kept throwing the ball, they were going to rush the passer. We needed to make them defend the run. And I thought we did that today. And again, it was a gut check moment for us that way, especially to start the second half to get that done. I think we're 1-1 in the SEC. I said this last week. I don't think people wanted to hear me when I said it. We were 0-1 in the SEC last week. We won the conference a year ago in the regular season by going 7-1 in conference play. If we can play the way we played today, we're plenty good enough to compete with any team in our conference. But we got to play that way. And just as I told the team in the locker room, we have more work to do. Right? We're going to celebrate this until we get back to Austin, and then we're going to switch gears. We're going to get ready for Kentucky at night, and it's going to be a tough environment. It's going to be a hard-nosed football game, but that's what this conference requires. It requires mental and physical toughness week in and week out. And so the way we prepared this week for this game is the way we need to prepare for next week's game. It's going to take the same. And so we don't have time now to take a deep breath and relax. We've got to go further. We got to dig deeper. We got to require more and demand more as coaches, and the players got to give more. And that's what it takes in this conference. But if we can play this way, surely we're good enough to put ourselves in position to win a lot more football games.
Here in the front row.
Hey, Coach, in an effort to keep that same energy, we asked you about the offensive line for weeks. They stood up. Run game, we've asked you about arch, red zone, getting to the quarterback, special teams. All these areas looked really well today. Can you just talk about being able to fix those areas, maybe what it looks like going forward?
Yeah, no, I think we had aspects of our team that were experienced. We had other aspects of our team that were inexperienced. And so we have to continue to grow. As I said, my goal is that we're playing our best football at the end of November and into December, right? That's the goal. But we have to work towards that. We have to continually try to improve. We aren't a finished product today. We weren't a finished product a month ago. We're not going to be a finished product next week. But if everybody's striving to improve, if everybody's trying to get better at whatever we're asking of them, then we will get better collectively as a team. And like I said last week, we didn't have time for the poor me's. What we had time for was trying to improve and trying to get better as a team. And a credit to a lot of phases of our team, we did. And to me, the most telling thing where we're at now is we created 3 turnovers defensively. We had 0 turnovers on offense. And so the fact that 3-0 in the turnover margin, that's a huge indicator for us that we're moving in the right direction. We're attacking the ball defensively. We're taking care of it on offense. And that's a formula that you can rely on while other aspects of your team continue to get better.
Here in the front, and then over here on the side.
Arch and Contravian, Danny Davis, Austin American Statesman. Why do you think you all had some success in the second half on third down? Because obviously the third down struggles have been kind of well documented this season.
Yeah, I think being able to stay out of third and 11 plus and getting more reasonable third downs. The O-line did a hell of a job, and playmakers made plays. That's what it was all about.
Yeah, facts. To piggyback on what Art said, you know, just going through the week, locking in on our pass pro details, knowing what they're going to bring, knowing that they wanted to have us behind the chains, so that way we just come out early on first and second down and handle our business. And yeah.
We'll go over here and then on this side to the end.
Joe Cook with Inside Texas. Manny, why'd you go up into the locker room, and then after missing last week, coming back having 2 picks, is that really gratifying to be able to do that in your return to action?
I wouldn't say gratifying, but I was just trying to go out there and just play my game. I feel like I let my team down last week, getting injured and not playing. So I just wanted to come in here this week and just put my best game on display and just keep taking it from there.
Go here on the side.
For Arch, Chip Brown with Horns 24/7. Can you talk about the quick passing game, you know, getting the ball out of your hands today? And then for Trey, that first drive of the third quarter, you know, converting all those third downs, what kind of confidence, you know, did y'all gain from that?
Yeah, we got a lot of talented playmakers. Get it to them quick and let them go make plays. I think that's the thought behind that.
And then we just knew coming out halftime that we was going to run the ball even when they knew we were going to run the ball. So, you know, just being able to convert on third down. And not only was the offense hyped up, but just seeing the defense hyped up, it gave us a sense of urgency.
Go a couple more, one right here and then one in the back.
Coach Sark, earlier this week you talked about there's a rhythm to the run game and there's something to say about carries. Contravion had 22 today. What did you see from him as the game went on? And Contravion, what did you feel as the game kind of went on and you got more and more carries throughout the day?
Yeah, I would say, first of all, I thought Trey brought a real sense of physicality to his run game today. You know, even early on, I know we had a couple penalties, but he was running with real intent. But again, I think it started in the week in practice. I think his rhythm in practice and timing, run timing with the offensive line got better as the week went on. We stuck to those runs. We didn't have a big run menu of schemes, and we stuck to the schemes that we felt like we practiced that were going to be effective today. And then I felt like over time, him getting those carries of those same schemes and seeing the defense and the timing of those runs created some of those explosive plays for him.
The last one here for the press conference portion in the back. Go ahead.
Yeah, like Coach Sark had said, I just felt like the more fatigued I got, the more energized I got, if that makes sense. So the more carries I was getting, the more banged up I was getting. I look at my teammates and I knew they needed me and they knew I needed them. So they kind of just fueled me to give more.
Yeah, CJ Vogel on Texas Football. Coach, 2 straight years now you've been able to walk out of this stadium without allowing a touchdown defensively. You just
3 of the last 4.
That's right. So thanks for the correction there. Oh, but can you just speak on your defensive performance today and, you know, what you saw in the week leading up that carried over?
Yeah, first of all, hey, I'm glad the quarterback played, and John Mateer is a heck of a player. But I didn't want to come up here and answer, well, what if he would have played? And so the fact that we created 3 turnovers, we got 5 sacks. You know, when you look at our defense, there was a lot of great playmakers today, and a lot of guys did some different things. But the biggest thing coming out of for me today, recruit the Metroplex. This guy